We got Team 1 together with Boom and Print, and we got ourselves Ascanor. We got ourselves Garitha as an enhancement shaman, and we got ourselves Buck SP. And it looks like Ascanor and Chippas are going to be first up. It's going to be a duel of the two juggernauts. Ascanor requested a 1v1 versus Chippas off the bat, and if the Team 1 and Team 2 are okay with it, they're just going to full send it. Full big brawl of these two in the middle. The Frost versus the Red. Which one is going to win? Death Knight versus Paladin. It's going to be the duel of the ages. Looks like Ascanor starting to get really aggressive there. Chippas rotating through every single offensive. Has plenty of defenses to work with. And Nega's a flesh cut to catch him up. On Team Chippas, we got ourselves Byrons. We got ourselves Shock. We got ourselves Peachy. And we got ourselves Ravendare. And Chill Pills is going to be fighting for the glory here versus Ascanor. Paladin versus Death Knight. Dude, Wrath of the Lich King is all over again. Except back at Wrath, I'm pretty sure everybody said Death Knights were OP. They were a meme. They were too memey, too good. Looks like Chip was yoinking him away from the pillar. Ascanor was looking for a bit of a reset. Is he going to trust in the Guardian of Ancient Kings this time? The legendary. Is he going to do the trick? He's trying to stay a little bit ahead of his health. He's trying to go for as many Word of Glories early here. You can see Seraphim is online. Chippas is going to activate the Helping Hand. Could go for a big... Oh, Chill Pills go for big damage right now. Ascanor does have wings available here. Damage for damage right now. Is Ascanor just needs to survive this onslaught. Chill Pills also needs to find a way just to crack through the tough exterior. That is Ascanor. The Obliterates are going through him. Big Dragon coming in. Doing a bit of damage with the blind to Ascanor. Does Chippas, he's trying to see if he can get Remorseless Winter stun off this. Ascanor does activate his, or does get his wall trinket out, legendary activated there. So he's going to be A-okay for now. Looks like Chippas actually swapped out. He's not going to have a stun with the Remorseless Winter this time. He's trying to change that out to someone else. Trying to go for a little bit of line of sight. He does make a death pact. Trying to give himself as much health to work with. First aiding while death pact is up. Probably not the greatest idea, but he still does it. It's going to be human racial getting used for Chill Pills. But he's going to have himself the slime covering himself a little bit of a shield. That's going to try to go with sneak and a heal. Wings available. Back up. Has not used Bubble or Bob just yet. And Chill Pills only left with AMZ as well as IBF. This could be a rough one here as Ascanor is prepared for Chill Pills. He literally built his setup just to duel a Death Knight. He wanted to have himself a proper 1v1. And Chill Pills also was notified that he wants to have a proper 1v1. Lichborn available for Chill Pills. Try to go for Chain of Ice to at least deal with Ascanor. He does have a little bit of running power to give himself a little bit of a heal. Flash Grab getting used yet again. Just gonna actually trinket it out of the blind just to get an interrupt, and Chippas not to let him get full Flash Grab off. It looks like Ascanor does have to bubble here as Chippas had some pressure rolling on him with full resources. Is gonna outrun the Paladin. He actually is outrunning a Paladin, almost getting that interrupt on a heal. But Ascanor still had a bubble on for a good majority of that cast. Hydra Chippas is going to pass IBF here, trying to see if he might be able to re-heal himself. AMS is available. Ascanor, does he have forbearance? It could be really bad for him. If he has forbearance, looks like he does save off the close encounter with Chippas. AMZ coming in for the Death Knight really early. Ascanor's damage is just getting nullified in there by 20%. All the holy damage while Chippas is sitting in the zone. He's in the zone. He's in there. Going for first aids whenever he can too, dude. Whatever healing he can get. Ascanor activate in Seraphim, but does get hit with a slow. Almost getting interrupted on his cast. That's going to be more damage out of that Hodge. Slime does give Chippas a bit of a shield. Ascanor has Seraphim. Short stun onto Chill. He does sacrifice the pet. Could be a bop right here for Ascanor. That's going to be his wall coming in. Maybe big Word of Glory off of it. Chill Pills might have some damage online here. Blind onto Ascanor as wings are up. It looks like he might just maybe just wait this out. Does grip him closer. Remorseless Winter is activated. Grippy Hand is up. Ascanor might just have to go full aggressive here. Shield of Edits is available. Chippas has AMS very soon. Could full send it with AMS. Full cooldowns available. Big damage up. Ascanor has Bop. It looks like Chippas taken down. Even going for a nice bow with Ascanor at the very end. A sprint, not even given an opportunity just to go for a breather. Honorable man unsure right here. Look at this guy. Look at this quality gentleman of the dueling arena. Absolute monster. Fighting off Paladins. And Paladin is one of those classes that quite a lot of people hate fighting against right now. In duels or in arena. But he defeats him with his full might and glory in a 1v1 that was requested. A nice bow as his fire rains upon him. He doesn't abandon the honor of a dueling arena. Even though it's a 5v5 1v1, it's a savage tournament out here, dude. It's a savage fest out here. lived through the full Infernal of Print Warlock too. So he survived with quite a lot of his damage. Walking up to Print, might go for a grip here, does go for Lichborn out of that fear. Actually has a lot of pressure onto Print. Is that going to be enough though? Remorseless Winter activated, wall available for Print, does AMS one of those chaos, but consider it's coming in for Print. But this Obliterate still keeps smacking him down over and over. Try to go for a kick, missing it by a hair. And Print is in a situation where he needs to get himself some line of sight, some CC. Mortal Coil does get used, trying to sneak in a Casbolt. What is that line of sight? I felt like that Casbolt shouldn't have hit him. Shortest succubus seduction ever. And Print does go for a port to actually try to see if he can survive the frosty death of Chill Pills. Throwing in a big old dragon. I mean, he has a dragon, dude. Print, do you have a dragon? I don't think so. Who's gonna win this? Well, one of them is a dragon. I don't know. Chill Pills does activate himself an extra pet, extra friendly ghoul. Could sacrifice the ghoul any moment in order to sacrifice it. Does the ghoul still stun again, or does it no longer stun? Gonna be Print get a hit with, or Chill Pills get a hit with a fear. Big Casbolt out of Print. Does go for a death pack just to make sure he survives the Warlock. Hits him with a howling blast, but Print does get himself drain life. Does go for a pet sacrifice. That pet sacrifice almost took out Print just now. Mortal Coil does give himself a little bit of health. And that's going to be Chill Pills not sending that Mortal Coil too long. Most of Winter is out. Print needs some mobility just to get out of the fear. Maybe does he get it off? Gets the fear off almost, but Chill Pills had an AMS ready. And that's going to be Garitha leaping in on the gateway. As an enhancement shaman, Chill Pills gets himself a full flash craft off. Does get interrupted the last second. But he did have it. Oh, I really like your Mog. You look like a straight up MAGA orc, straight up from Nagrand. Just like worked at a butcher's shop and is now forced into an arena. I really do like that Mog. I really dig it. Big grippy hand coming in for Chill Pills. Does have Pillar of Frost to go with it if he wants to. But looks like that's going to be a wall for Garitha. Chill Pills, I think, expecting some big cooldowns out of this enhancement shaman because they do have some big damage. Garitha does have plenty of healing at 40% dampening. And Chill Pills, there he goes for some big damage outside of the wall with Garitha. Does actually IBF through the capacitor. Looks like Garitha taking lots of damage, chunking out. But does have the Maelstrom, does have the mana to keep himself alive just a hair longer. And that Earth Shield is keeping him alive as well. Ghost Rolls are up and running. Get hit with a blind. That's gonna go for a big bloodlust raid to go. Wants to go in for some big damage versus Chill Pills if at all possible. AMS available for Chill Pills trying to deal with the damage. Big Ascendance coming in. The one with the elements. Chill Pills having to go for a Lichborn here. AMZ coming in for a lot of the magic damage. Those wind strikes are, I think, physical damage actually. But a good portion of the shadow damage, for example, that's magical. But Chill Pills does go down. There's not much you can do in that situation after exhausting your full cooldowns out of a Paladin who wanted a full 1v1 into a Warlock right after who didn't even give you much of a moment to breathe. Garitha came in with full cooldowns, full ascendance, full sending it. And Remender is going to be up next. Hunter hunting down Garitha. Vanidia's Gateway. Uses the game as hand shaman. You know what? I'm not really mad about the handsome shamans using gateways. You know what? I can't get mad at that. I don't think I can get mad at that. And Garitha trying to find a way to deal with the pest. Does go for a stun on all of them and should be able to heal up. 21% dampening, but still, for an enhancement shaman, you do have a lot of healing. That's going to be Void of Rachel for Remender, trying to create himself some line of sight. From Garitha trying to find an angle. Does get the Earth Elemental frozen. The Earth Elemental, while it's up, it's giving Garitha basically a commanding shot for a whole minute while the Earth Elemental is up. It is huge. Wall available for Garitha with the Astral. Remender trying to turn his pets online with a Bestial Wrath. Should be a lot of damage. Does he have the Kirin Resonant Area? He might. I think he's waiting for Garitha to get in a good situation where he's kind of wants to chill in one area. Could go for Resonant Area right now. Resonant Arrow could be used right here. Is going to use it. Garitha should be in line of sight of it. Should be able to get quite a bit of damage. Stun around the pillar. And Remender got himself good line of sight. Looking to hunt the shaman down. Does he get the interrupt? He does not. Garitha does get himself a heal in the last second. And is still alive for a little bit longer. He's living it, man. He's a liver. Remender still trying to find an angle. Does get a run to Garitha. Kind of out in the open. Does have himself the, what is it called? The sprint. The enhancement shaman sprint. I forget what it is. I actually forget what it is. Not Spirit Walker's Grace. Not Spirit Walker's Grace. It used to be tied to Ghost Rolls, but not anymore. God, why can't I remember it? It's like a mana cooldown. It frees you from roots. It frees you from roots and slows. That's one thing I could say about it. Garitha, does he use these full Venthyr Chain Harvest into a Feign Death? Or was that prior to Feign Death? That's why Remender sells is lower. I think it might have been the hit that actually got through the feign death, or prior to feign death, right before it. Resonant arrows back up. Goritha needs to go for more kiting, more running. At least he has the pest to generate Maelstrom from. Stun could be really bad for him. Does get hit. And oh, kill shots coming through. Trying to get himself a heal. But down he goes. Revendare does survive with Boom coming in. Onto Revendare. Walking up to him. Freezing Trap. Chicken side of it immediately. Knows there's no stun available this time. Goes spear onto Revendare. Can't really do much about it except go for a turtle. And Boom did cloak. I guess trying to see if he can avoid any Freezing Trap. I guess he cloaked the biting shot. That's what he cloaked. Revendare get hit with a kidney shot. Check it out. Coming out. Follow with a feign death right after. Trying to get himself a little bit actually healing. Looking like he's actually staying kind of survival. Boom taking out quite a bit of damage himself. Evasion is being used. Grapples over to Revendare into a freezing trap as he's ready to slam down his massive hook and massive cutlass on Revendare, but doesn't get to. Big damage out of Boom out of nowhere though. Vanish coming in to follow. Revendare with a bestial rat just sends a flare to deal with Boom. Does see him. Kill shots coming in. Does Boom have enough damage to finish it? Looks like the kill shots go through. And Revendare with barely any help. Just gone with a shot of more death to take him out as Buck SP not letting him do much. Shock getting him with a stun right after his Buck going in for full big damage, trying to go for a Mind Games. Shadow Crash onto Shock. Could be really bad for Shock. Does he bubble this here? Wings are up. Buck does go for a greater fade. Shock does try to interrupt him. It's going to be a massive spell for this one. Into an execute. Whoa, Buck taken out of the Paladin very quickly. Let's see how Byron, Shocked, and Peachy on that team to get through. Wow, that was really, really good. Really, really good. It's nature damage, ain't it? I believe it is. I believe it is, Broten. Could be wrong, though. Buck is going to have to play versus Byron's, who is playing as a balance druid, so it's going to be caster versus caster. We've seen a couple of those Shadow Priest versus Boomy duels. They do end up being longer, with Shadow Priest having more CC than Boomy, but Boomy having an overall bigger burst. But Buck having more, or Shadow Priest having more sustain and smaller burst windows, but having more of them. While Boomies have that big scary burst window. And I think it ends up kind of being favored towards Shadow Priest, I want to say. We'll see how well Buck runs with it though. It did do really well against the Paladin dude. That was a nice setup. Big burst up and running, and then try to get himself into a dispel. Paladin didn't really have a moment to keep himself alive. If only he played like super, I guess he could have like hugged the wall and played it super carefully. And it didn't, so we can have these duels moving on. So at least I appreciate that from Pala. Shadow Crash missing. Byron's does lock out Buck for a second. There's going to be a big damage up and running with the disperse. 60% damage reduction with some healing. Trying to go for Cyclone to Buck. Will not get the clone, and Buck does get himself a bit of a recovery, as Byron's did have himself a full Kyrian setup. And actually, Byron's being Kyrian, he actually has quite a bit of damage. Those star surges within Kyrian buff are quite tough to deal with. But Buck trying to see if he can get himself a bit of a Shadowman. A bit of a reset. Shadow Crash around the corner, but Byron's is going to bail out of it immediately. It's going to be a duel of the casters. With Buck pushing in. Does get knocked back, but Byron's trying to go for a Cyclone. Doesn't get it. Greater Fate does get used. And Byron's has a lot of self-healing. If you can only get a Mind Games on a big self-heal, that'd be huge. It looks like he used double big heal. So it looked like it was an emergency heal, or maybe double Frenzy Region. Maybe he's playing Guardian Infinity for double of them. Byron's has a nice weapon. Does he? Nice weapon, Mog. Oh, Byron's. Yes, he does. That is a cool weapon. Mind Games getting used on Byron's while his Silence Bear form is up. Does go into bear form, bark skin. I said bear form and bark skin. It looks like Byron's actually, oh, couldn't catch up on a heal quick enough, and Buck snapped him out. Peachy's the last one left, also as a Boomy with Fleshcraft. It looks like Buck is given him the opportunity to at least get an honor duel, at least get his Fleshcraft, you know, get his full setup. It's going to be a dot focus Boomy versus a Shadow Priest mounted up immediately roar by Peachy into a cycle into Buck. I think he was trying to see if he can get some damage onto Peachy in the opener. And Peachy is going to go for 2 Starfires to activate his Eclipse in order to increase the astral damage he does, which is going to be quite big. Buck rotating into a Vampiric Embrace. Vamp getting used just to get himself a little bit actually healing. Peachy's shield just getting blasted through. And a Siphid is just going to be biting at his ankles this whole time. Peachy needs to find himself a good position with some big damage. Hasn't been able to go for big damage just yet. Buck does not have a trinket anymore, so that is something Peachy should note of. No more trinket. Disperse as well as Greater Fate is available. So it's going to be full stun onto Buck. Does he go for Disperse? Trying to make the Star Surges work. Interfere with Peachy. Does trick it out of it. Trying to catch up to Buck. Good dispersion if he wants to. Does get a stun to Peachy. Barkskin is available. Buck is going to go for a Void Eruption. Does himself Void Form available. That is going to be also Void Bolts and any instant cast available on top of it. Peachy does knock him with a Typhoon for a second, but Buck is not going to be denied the damage. Mind Blast coming up with Peachy. Does he have anything for it? Does himself a little bit of a heal by the looks of it. And he needs to go for the Mind Games on Peachy as he tries to go for a heal. Peachy under quite a bit of pressure though. Does get a beam rolling onto Buck with a bit of dot damage. 63% dampener, boys. Nobody's really going to get any kind of healing here. Roar onto Buck. Does kind of miss the Shadow Crash. Thought Peachy was going to go one direction as he turned. This could be anyone's game here. I think it's going to come down to the dots, dude. Whoever can rot each other down with dots the most. And Peachy does have quite a bit of rotten damage. Also has Starfall. I don't really know if it's hitting Buck through the wall or not. I don't think it is. I want to say I don't think it is. But he needs to get the Moonfry, Sunfry in there, get the Swarm in, get the damage rolling. So, because I think whoever wins is going to be the one with the highest health. Peachy getting hit with a stun. Did Peachy give up? Silence? Oh, that's just so much damage. I think he might have given up at the end there. He's like, you know what? That's too much dampening. Whoa, actually, Buck went for a 1v4 there. Wow. Chupa's with a big damage versus the Paladin surviving it, dude. Most amount of healing a Death Knight could do before dampening comes in, man.